At 85 years old, Smokey Robinson finds himself at the center of one of the most serious legal battles of his storied career. The Motown legend, whose smooth vocals and songwriting genius helped define the sound of a generation, is now facing allegations that threaten to overshadow his musical legacy. In May 2025, four former housekeepers filed a $50 million lawsuit against Robinson and his wife Frances in Los Angeles Superior Court, setting off a complex legal drama that has captured national attention and prompted a criminal investigation. The women, who have chosen to remain anonymous and are identified in court documents as Jane Doe's 1-4, worked for the Robinson household at various times between 2006 and 2024. Their allegations span nearly 2 decades and involve multiple properties, including Robinson's estate in Chatsworth, California, as well as homes in Las Vegas and Bell Canyon. The complaint alleges sexual assault, battery, false imprisonment, gender violence, and labor violations. Each woman states in the filing that she was ultimately forced to resign due to what they characterize as Robinson's repeated sexual assaults and sexual harassment. The details contained within the lawsuit are deeply troubling. One accuser claims she was assaulted at least 7 times during her approximately 1-year employment from January 2023 to February 2024. Another alleges at least 23 assaults over nearly 6 years of employment from May 2014 to February 2020. A third woman claims she endured at least 20 assaults during her 12 years working for the family from February 2012 to April 2024. The fourth accuser, who served not only as a housekeeper but also as Frances Robinson's personal assistant, alleges the first assault occurred in 2007 when she accompanied Robinson to his Las Vegas home. The lawsuit describes a pattern of behavior in which Robinson allegedly summoned the women to his bedroom or other areas of his properties where security cameras were not present. According to the complaint, the women explicitly told Robinson on numerous occasions that they were not interested in his advances and objected to his conduct, but their protests were allegedly ignored. Beyond the sexual assault allegations, the lawsuit also addresses labor violations, alleging that the women worked 10-hour days without receiving proper overtime pay, lunch breaks, or holiday pay. The women's attorney, John Harris, described them during a press conference as Hispanic women who were employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage. He emphasized that, as low-wage workers in vulnerable positions, they lack the resources and options necessary to protect themselves from sexual assaults. The lawsuit also names Frances Robinson as a co-defendant, alleging that she not only failed to prevent her husband's alleged misconduct, but actively contributed to a hostile work environment through what the complaint describes as ethnically pejorative words and language. A crucial aspect of the case involves the women's stated reasons for not coming forward earlier. The complaint explains that they were unwilling to report Robinson's alleged actions to authorities due to multiple fears: losing their livelihoods, bringing public embarrassment to themselves and their families, and potential adverse effects on their immigration status. 3 of the 4 women specifically worried about immigration consequences, highlighting the vulnerable position of undocumented workers who may fear deportation if they report abuse. Robinson's response has been swift and forceful. His attorney, Christopher Frost, has categorically denied all allegations, calling them vile, false, and describing the lawsuit as simply an ugly method of trying to extract money from an 85-year-old American icon. Frost characterized the women's press conference as bizarre theatrics and accused the plaintiffs' attorneys of creating a media circus designed to prejudice public opinion. The Robinson camp escalated the legal battle significantly in late May 2025 by filing a massive $500 million countersuit against the 4 women and their legal representatives. This cross-complaint alleges slander, intentional infliction of emotional distress, financial elder abuse, invasion of privacy, and civil conspiracy. The countersuit paints a dramatically different picture of the relationship, claiming that the couple treated plaintiffs with the utmost kindness and generosity and regarded them as extended family rather than mere employees. According to Robinson's countersuit, the family provided substantial financial assistance to the women over the years, including several $1,000s in direct payments, monetary support for family members, clothing, dental surgery, and even a car. The filing includes exhibits of alleged text messages showing what Robinson's lawyers characterize as close, familial relationships. The countersuit claims that the women initially demanded $100 million or more in pre-litigation negotiations and only resorted to filing the public lawsuit when those demands were rejected. The legal situation became even more serious when the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department announced in May 2025 that its Special Victims Bureau had initiated a criminal investigation into the allegations against Robinson. This development transforms the case from a purely civil matter into a potential criminal prosecution, significantly raising the stakes for all involved. Robinson's attorney has welcomed the criminal investigation, expressing confidence that a determination will be made that Mr. Robinson did nothing wrong. Adding to the complexity, reports emerged in July 2025 of a fifth accuser who filed a police report against Robinson, potentially strengthening the case by suggesting a pattern of behavior. The current legal situation represents just the latest chapter in what has been a life marked by both extraordinary achievement and personal struggle. Robinson's past includes well-documented battles with addiction that he has discussed openly. During the mid-1980s, Robinson struggled with severe cocaine and marijuana addiction that he has described as probably the worst personal time of my life. The addiction led to dramatic physical decline, with Robinson's weight plummeting to 120 pounds and his health deteriorating to the point where he described himself as a walking corpse. Robinson's recovery story has become an integral part of his public narrative. He credits his healing not to medical intervention, but to a spiritual experience that occurred in May 1986 at a Los Angeles church. According to Robinson's account, Pastor Jean Perez called Robinson to the front, embraced him, and prayed over him. Robinson describes experiencing a profound emotional release during this encounter, feeling that it was over. He emphasizes that he never did drugs again and that his recovery was instantaneous, attributing it to divine intervention rather than medical treatment. Since his recovery, Robinson has become an advocate for spiritual approaches to addiction treatment, traveling to rehabilitation facilities, schools, and churches to share his story. Robinson's personal life has also been marked by significant relationship challenges. His first marriage to Claudette Rogers, a fellow member of the Miracles, lasted 27 years from 1959 to 1986. This relationship was deeply intertwined with his professional life, as Claudette was not only his wife, but also the first female member of his iconic group. The marriage was marked by Robinson's admission of multiple extramarital affairs, including a notable relationship with Diana Ross. However, it was a separate affair that ultimately led to the dissolution of his first marriage. In 1984, Robinson fathered a child, Trey, with another woman during an ongoing affair. Robinson's admission of this paternity directly led to the finalization of their divorce in 1986. The financial and legal entanglements from Robinson's first marriage persisted for decades. In 2014, nearly 3 decades after their separation, Robinson initiated a lawsuit against his ex-wife to prevent her from claiming 50% of his recaptured Motown copyrights. This ongoing legal dispute illustrates how creative assets and intellectual property rights can create lasting complications in the dissolution of marriages, particularly for artists whose work continues to generate income long after relationships end. The convergence of Robinson's current legal troubles with his documented history of personal struggles creates a complex narrative. His openness about his past addiction and recovery, his admission of marital infidelity, and his willingness to discuss personal failures publicly suggests someone who has confronted his demons and sought redemption. However, the current allegations, if proven true, would represent a pattern of behavior that extends far beyond the personal struggles he has previously acknowledged. The legal proceedings continue to evolve, with both civil and criminal components progressing simultaneously. The original $50 million civil lawsuit remains active, while Robinson's $500 million countersuit awaits judicial review. Meanwhile, the criminal investigation by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department continues, with the potential for charges to be filed if investigators determine sufficient evidence exists to support prosecution. These are allegations in ongoing legal proceedings. No criminal charges have been filed, and the civil matter has not been resolved. All parties are entitled to due process, and the legal system will determine the facts of these cases. This overview presents publicly available information from court filings and news reports and does not constitute legal analysis or judgment on the merits of any claims.